Cetulakunamarjanam Bhavamahadavagninirvakanam Shriya Kairava Chandrakavitaranam Vidyavadurivanam Anandam Gurivardhanam Pratipadam Puranamritasvaram Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan.
Hare Krishna, this is another episode of the Sankirtan podcast, backed by popular demand, is Reuben.
Hare Krishna.
And I thought it'd be nice to do another podcast because you also you had some other stories and other appreciations that you wanted to share that I want you to share, and you told me a couple of Sankirtan stories that, if it's okay, I'd like you to share with everyone because I thought they were very inspiring. I know you're a bit shy to share things there about yourself. I think it'd be nice if you could share with all of us, please, Prabhu.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So, should I start? Or
yeah, please, yeah.
Okay. So I was just thinking as I left our little interaction yesterday, or the day before, I think it was perhaps. I missed just a couple of devotees out. One was Vishwambal Prabhu, who's contributed so much in the manner and to the whole of the UK Sankirtan progression over the years. For myself, he's like personally given guidance and training, and he's done that also for traveling around the country to different temples and stuff as well, and even other parts of Europe as well. So it's he's the godfather, as you know. we very much appreciate his contribution in that area. He's always encouraging the devotees. He's very pleased when we're going on Sankirtan, and so that we appreciate it a lot. And very, very gave me a few mantras and lines, and they helped improve my Sankirtan. Could distribute more books by the grace of his input. So that we're very, very much grateful for that practical help, and we go out from time to time together as well, and that's fun as well. It's a good person to go with. And he's huge. What takes me 6 hours, he can do in 2. So it's that kind of. So it's very inspiring to see someone that make you understand that people are very capable sometimes in book distribution like him. Amazing, and he can turn a conversation around. Someone's not even planning to take a book. Suddenly they've got a book in their hand, they're walking away with a smile. So he's definitely a very potent book distributor, like that. And the other one that I just wanted to mention that we're talking about the UK Sankirtan, is Sankirtan leadership. I had the good fortune of having Keshava Maharaj as our Sankirtan leader for many years. Incredible book distributor on the street, but not only on the street, his way of organizing things and keeping things together, it's very uplifting. One of the qualities of a leader that they give some inspiration, support to those that are in their team, and he's a shining example of that. Times when I didn't have partners, I was doing marathons, he'd make sure I could hook up with the brahmacharis, and we had fun in Liverpool, Leicester, down in Bournemouth with him. And he's making sure you've got all your books. He's making sure that they're placed in all the, if we're going up to Leicester, the book's already there. You don't have to lug them down in your car, and all that's all done beforehand. So another important aspect of Sankirtan is that organization, and he's not only a very good leader, but he's also a very good manager and a very good book distributor. All these things are there in him. Is incredible, and what to say of, giving that back up to everyone like that. His follow-up in terms of cultivating people is super excellent as well. So very much appreciate his kind and friendly dealings over the years towards myself. Like himself and Bishop, like gems to have in the association, along with Brahman of the tree on which, like hands-on, they've kind of been working with them day to day for many years, So I just wanted to mention those things as well. Also I did get a chance just to mention a couple of stories. One that really touched my heart was many, many years ago. I used to go out with my wife and a couple of Sankirtan devotees. There were Avaduta and Subangana. That was way before your time, and they were in the Brahmacharini ashram. Then they switched. They moved out. And they were kind of adjusting their life. So it was in that phase. So we used to all go out together on Sankirtan. And I'm not going to mention which one's name, but one of them later got, because I want to embarrass them. It's an amazing story. They'd been distributing in Eastern Europe before they came to the manor. This particular devotee, and they'd done so much book distribution as a brahmacharini, and then what happened is they were in this transition phase. We distributed them for a few years in England, and then one of them got married and moved to New York. She married a devotee, and he was a book distributor as well as working as a professional. But so after his, I guess, his brahmachari book distribution days, he worked as a professional, did books in his weekends and so on. So somehow she ended up working as a teacher. I think it was in a nursery, if I got the story right. Forgive me if I got it not exactly right. And she said, started getting overwhelmed with the joys of Grihastha ashram. And she was just sitting on her bed one day and thinking, what's happened to my life, I used to have so much fun. I used to be out distributing books, and she was in like war-torn Eastern European countries where there'd be, there was, shell fire and all sorts of stuff, and then they were distributing books in those conditions. So she even, if there was a kind of sound like she'd get a bit jittery because of what she'd gone through. So she distributed books, all of these type of things. So she went to bed that night lamenting. And that night, Lord Chaitanya appeared in her dream and said, "Don't worry, I'm remembering everything that you've done for my mission." So
wow,
that was something. It was a very, very sweet story. I was someone that was distributing alongside us, so who knows who's with us actually. So that was very encouraging for me, because you could see that, the reason I was telling that is something that I'd heard recently. As I was in India, one saintly devotee was explaining that Krishna, he's always grateful. He's so. This is a story that shows that a kind of a mark of a grateful person is that you do something that's pleasing to them, and they never forget it. As opposed to the person in the material world, you do many things for them, they forget it very quickly and ask you for the next and the next and the next. But it brought a lot of hope to my heart when I heard the story, because I was thinking, wow, Krishna's remembering her Sankirtan efforts, even when she stopped distributing books. I thought that isn't that a very sweet thing, that effort made to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to please Srila Prabhupada, that was reciprocated with. So I just thought it was very important. Young book distributor going out, and sometimes wondering, is anyone up there? I seem to be suffering down here. But, but like that. So apart from the sublime feeling that you get, within that, and that satisfaction in distributing, there's the Lord's watching from within and without, all our endeavors. So this was one story, so no loss of ammunition, Bhagavad Gita is saying, on this path, just a little bit of service, can save one from the greatest danger. So what to say of having Chaitanya Mahaprabhu watching your back? Most munificent incarnation who's come to give Krishna prem, and you've done something to serve his mission. And what to say of his Sedipati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, you're doing something to distribute his books. How pleased he'll be. So we're talking about, come on angels, come on 10 yesterday, Timothy Winters. So the Prabhupada will be certainly blessing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna will certainly be looking after us. That was the reason I felt very important to tell that story.
That's very nice. Especially since a lot of the time you hear a lot, isn't it, about what the devotee feels about Krishna, all the prayers and how the devotee. But it's nice when you hear how Krishna feels about the devotee.
Yes, it's amazing. Yeah.
That was always my favorite part in Nectar Devotion. It's got the qualities of Krishna, and one of his qualities is that he's very grateful.
And nice thing, isn't it? It's a nice thing, isn't it? And you see that even with friends that are grateful, it makes it that much more worth doing your part in this world, just to feel appreciated. So imagine how she must have felt at that time when she got a reciprocation like that. It's like so that was very sweet. The other one was is a set of a couple of stories that happened actually. How can we say that? So many years back, my wife was distributing books for me for about 8 years, and all around the country, and all different type of events and stuff. And she messed up her neck and her back in the process. Those days we had to get a lot of coins. It wasn't like and so she suddenly couldn't distribute books anymore. So this marathon, me and Sridham, we went out. Shamasundar wasn't coming out with us, and those days, me and Sridham, we do like long. We were younger then, so with long 6-week marathons, for us, I mean, that's probably like a recreation for Welsh devotee. Yeah.
It's a holiday. Dream of 6 weeks.
So we're doing a 6-week marathon at that time. So, the 4 weeks, and then we carry on a couple of weeks into the first month of January. Then also this holiday shopping period at the end. The sales used to go on a bit longer into January. They start straight after Christmas. So we'd just finished our marathon, which is maybe the first or second week of January. So I came back. I couldn't really take Shamasundari out to the temple because she was so ill that she couldn't get there and stuff. So I took her to the temple that day. She paid the basis, and I said, "Gosh," she looked pale, and she back got worse somehow. So I thought, "Gosh," somehow I took her home. Phoned up my friend Tripad, who's a receptionist at Soho Street, and he said, "Do you know any osteopaths or someone that can help me?" So he told me about someone. We could arrange an appointment. Thinking, yeah, Krishna, I'd done my whole marathon, just got enough money to pay the bills and get out to India, and now you put me in this situation, and it's like something like 75 quid at the time for an hour and it's not going to be one treatment, it's going to be a few, So how am I going to do it? I'm tired. And this was, the day after you've stopped your marathon, mine's like, it's like, I'm not going to do anything but lie in my bed now, and go for the morning program. That's it for the day. First thing, I thought, anyway, somehow, health sadhana service, so I'm going to have to get it together. So I remember first day we went with some of the joys that are not full on. It was that we're doing full time at that time. I think Jai Gopal was in the car, Ed was in the car, Sada was in the car, and myself. I was like lying in the back, as we were going up to Oxford. It was like So I thought, someone got to get this Lakshmi together to pay these osteopaths to sort this situation out. So anyway, I thought, sort of to kind of re-pull my mind back together. So it was like, it was like relaxation time. It was like, okay, no, I can go back. Okay, so I was like, oh gosh. Anyway, I don't know. There was one more person. Perhaps it was Paul. I'm not sure if there was one more person with us. So we got out on the street. In about 5-10 minutes, I was passing some books out, like medium and small books at that time. Putting this group of boys together, put these books in their hands, and showing the books about yoga, meditation, Eastern philosophy, karma, reincarnation. So 3 of them gave their books back, and one of them was like staring at the books, interested. So he goes to me, I like these books, but I got no money. And he showed me his wallet. It was like a youngster, like 19 or something like that. So me big Sankirtan I appeared into the. I saw this little piece of paper in his wallet. So I said, what does that say? He said, because I knew which books I put in his hand. He goes, it says Sri Ishi Shopanishad. That's what he said to me. Yeah. I said, how did that get in your wallet? He said, well, I was in the Netherlands, right? I was with 5 friends and we were sitting in a coffee shop, and there were 2 of them were face to face, and I was like kind of like a spare wheel, so I didn't have anyone to talk to. And I saw this monk like you in the coffee shop. I said, so I was thinking, yeah, monk. Yeah, says if he's a good one, he's drinking milk. Otherwise, he might be something to keep him going on the street.
Yeah. It's probably me.
So then he says, so I started talking to him. Yeah, he was talking about yoga and meditation like you're talking to me right now. And then he wrote this on a piece of paper. He told me, when you get back to your country, you should find this book. Wow. So then I said, have a look at the books in your hand. And so he turned around an Isha Upanishad, and he said, wow, it's the same book. Because I said, you can't tell me there's no God, man. His 3 friends are watching the exchange. He was like he was like in the Sankirtan bubble, like. And then he goes, but I've just got no money. I said, I don't think there's an issue about money. I think this book's might be marked for you, my friend. And he goes, yeah. I said, so anyway, if any of your friends can drop in a quid or 2 to cover the cost, I'd appreciate it. If not, it's yours anyway. So one of his friends gave a couple of pounds or something. I said, make sure you read it, because it's worth much more than what you're given, because Prabhupada said, should value the books, if you give them free, sometimes you find them in bins and stuff, So he went away. The day carried on. Came back home. I was like lying in the back of the car, and I thought it was Friday, and I've got the appointment in. Anyways, starts with T somewhere in London. This physio appointment in the afternoon. So in the morning, I went out because Sridhar was finished. Our payment. We went to a local service station. We divided the service station in 2 because the pace that he works and I work at is slightly different. So function, and so I was there in about the space of about 10-15 minutes. I looked at this car, and this man starts walking out of the car. So then he looks at me. I look at him. I said, you look like Professor Ray Steele. So this man's looking at me, and he looks at me, and I put my hand out. I said, my name's Dr. Ramos. I started shaking his hand. So he's like, look at me. So many years ago, I was doing a PhD, and this particular professor, we beat him to a £500,000 contract on mobile networks. So I'm meeting him this is 12 years after I finished my PhD in a car park, in a service station, and he's looking like stunned,
So it's actually him.
It's him, because I know him, because
I did. Maybe it was some line or something.
No, it wasn't a line. No, it was real. You know, Sankirtans have lines, but
Yeah.
I mean, Keshavas has been Hightower and all sorts of people in America, but this was like real, you know. So the whole atmosphere had gone silent because it was like, you know, what's going on here? This is a doctor. So, you know, somehow you get some intelligence from within now and then when you're out on the street. So his wife was walking out the other side of the car. So I said, Madam, when I was a young student, Professor Ray Steele was an outspoken, you know, professor, you know, because he'd go out and he'd intimidate people with his intelligence and ask them questions and stuff. He's like famous professor in network and radio networks in this country. It's from Southampton University. So she turned around and said, and started laughing because she's the wife, and said nothing changed, you know. And he started laughing because, you know, I was indirectly glorifying him, you know. So I was getting the field ready for the action, you know. So then I turned around and said, well, I became a Hare Krishna, and he said, I asked him, how's Hamid, my PhD supervisor? He said, he's fine. I said, is he still lecturing at King's? And he said, no, he's on the lecture circuit, going around the world teaching about mobile networks now. And says, please send my regards to him. And he said, I will. I said, but anyway, I became a Hare Krishna priest or monk. And so we're passing out these books about yoga and meditation. And so I said, so you work in a very stressful environment, Ray. Well, how about you take a book? I said, and I put 3 books in his hand and chuck in something. I put a chant we have in his hand. That's what I've done actually, is one, and chuck in the fibre. As I said, I thought, this is crazy. You know, this person's minted, you know. So I said, Ray, why don't you just chuck in 100? You're a big man, you know. You know, I was thinking maybe Krishna's come and arranged how I'm going to pay the osteopath today, you know. So didn't do so great in Oxford the day before. So then he's going into his wallet, and you know, it was like slow motion for me. It came out with like 2 pence, you know. No, I couldn't say anything. I can't say, can you chuck in a couple of quid, you know, cover up the costs, because he's a professor and I'm a doctor, you know. So it looks a bit odd. So I thought I'd better just give him the book, you know. I said, it's nice to meet you, Ray, you know, like, and I said, please take the book, and, you know, say hello to Hamid, my PhD. So he went on his way, and I was thinking, what's the chance of meeting this type of person here? He's from Southampton, and we're just next to the Manor area, you know. So anyway, I mentioned we had a little break at some point where we were going to change over car park sides. And I mentioned to Ramananda, you know, what happened. He goes, yeah, Sankirtan's far out, you know, all sorts of things. You know, we're just talking about how Sankirtan's so amazing. As we're talking, Ray Steele had obviously come out of the services and got whatever he's had to eat, whatever. So before he got in his car, he started walking up to me. So he pulled out 5. He said, I didn't have any change earlier, so I just want to give you this. So I said, you know, take one of these as well. I gave him an e-show to add to his chart, be happy. I said, it's quite intellectual. It might be up your street, you know. Mm-hmm. So I managed to give him these 2 books, and he went on his way. So I was like, so now I was feeling elated internally. I thought, I've met the e-show man yesterday. Mm-hmm. Now I'm meeting Professor Ray Steele the next day. Then Prema said, we should have a little lunch break or something. That time I never used to take any lunch breaks. I thought, admire, but you know, because he's older than me and senior, I thought, you know, I'll kind of follow suit for now. You know, I mean, later on, I read it to him. You've got to take a break at lunch and eat something. That's why you're getting sick. You know, so we changed. You know, we're in the transition phase at that time.
We never used to have lunch breaks. Me and Trainer. The boys all have lunch breaks now. I'm like, Maya.
Yeah, exactly. And then I started getting ill, and I thought, okay, You have to have some warm food in your stomach, otherwise you're going to get gas and you're going to get ill. So I was like, okay. So that changed. But Reuben was a bit more sensible like that, you know. So he was like, you know, regulate. So I took the break with him. Me and Sridhar weren't having breaks that time, but you know, got to keep the seniors happy and all that, you know. So then we had a lunch break. And I thought, that's it. None of these nice exchanges, whatever. I'm just going to go up to the cars and do a quick exchange. If they're not interested, I'm going to go to the next car quickly. I've got a bad habit of being friendly, too friendly. Sometimes I'm taking too long. So I'm preaching to my mind, you know. And besides, I haven't even made enough to pay this osteopath or whatever. So I was like, they're going to be focused now, you know. I'm a real proper Sankirtan devotee for another 1 hour before we got to go to where's this place? It was it was anyway, it's some part of London. Anyway, Twickenham, that's it, Twickenham. That's good. So then, as I was going out, I came up to this car, and it's like a pickup truck, you know. And I knocked on the window. I was past trying to be happy into the cockpit kind of thing. I said, yeah, we're monks and priests. We pass out these books about yoga, meditation, Eastern philosophy, and normal power at the start, you know. And he goes to me, I'm into this stuff, you know. I'm a pagan, yeah. Says, but I've got no money. I'm working, you know. Sometimes you're working, you're not allowed to have your own money with you, you know? So I just looked at him. I thought, you know, by the laws of what I just preached to my mind, I should just go to the next car now, yeah. But something inside me was telling me I should just preach to him, you know. So I just looked at him. I said, just to hook him, I said, so what exactly is a pagan, you know? So he says, well, actually, we worship like the mountains and the sun. So then I said, I guess you worship God through nature, you know, to kind of link him a little bit to what I was wanting to get to, you know. He goes, yeah, something like that. So he goes on. Then I told him a little bit more about the book, you know, and about yoga, meditation. He goes, you know, he's driving a truck, putting cars on the back of his pickup truck. He goes, I'm also a Reiki healer, you know. So thinking, you know, you never know who's who, you know. You can't judge a book by its cover. So this is truck driver is a Reiki healer. He's pagan, you know. And he could see he had a really nice kind of aura, kind of nice physiognomy face and everything. He goes, so I was like, you know, I was really feeling ecstatic. My marathon had finished. I met Isho Man, met Ray Steele. I thought, it's like, that time used to be quite cold. It was January, so I had all my big clothes on. I don't fare well with the cold, hat on and everything. So I ripped off my hat. I said, do a bit of Reiki on me, you know. I don't know why, I just, you know, something, you know, something gets into you when you're on the street. So he goes, all right then. So he's put his hands outside the cockpit of his, you know, the front bit of his truck, and he's going like this. And then I was looking up at him, and I could see a little frown on his face. So I said, what's going on? He goes, well, when I do this, I take the energy from the universe into my hands. It comes into my head, and it comes through my hands into your head. Because right now, the energy is going the opposite way round. It's coming out of your hands through my head. It's going backwards, you know. So I said, I guess we're doing a bit of giving work with our spiritual teacher, Srila Prabhupada. And I guess that's why the energy is going the other way around right now. Then he goes, he was very sweet, he was like, you know, he goes, well, I just wanted to tell you, I call myself Brother Reuben, you know, Hare Krishna priest of mine. I said, brother, I just wanted to tell you, you're a good fella and you keep up your good work, you know. So I took it as some encouragement from Srila Prabhupada, you know. So, end of the marathon, everything's going wrong. Of course, he's, you know, it's like encouraging me. Keep up your good work. It's good what you're doing, you know. So then he goes. People think I'm a bit clairvoyant. People think I'm a bit mad. I said, you don't look mad at all to me. You look like a really nice person, you know. So then he starts explaining the story, which is a few months ago. I was picking up. He's trying to explain how people that he's not mad and is qualifying. So a few months ago, I picked up this guy and his car broke down, so I put it on the back of my truck and was taking him back to the garage. And a message came through for me. He just said his clairvoyant like this. I said, oh. And he said the message was that his wife was in hospital and he needed to urgently see her. So he explained this to the gentleman that was with him. He said, that makes sense. I haven't got my mobile. It's in the repair shop. And his wife was in Los Angeles in the hospital. And he said, so when I dropped her, I just thought it was an urgent message. I dropped him. When I dropped him, I told him, make sure you contact your wife. So 3 days later, I got a message saying, from this gentleman saying, thanks for prompting me. My wife was in the hospital in Los Angeles. She nearly died in childbirth, but the child and her are both safe. Thank you for giving me that. So this is the type of gentleman he was, or this fellow was. So then I said, wouldn't it be nice if I could take this person to see Radha Gokul Nanda, even if he hasn't got any money to give me or whatever. So I said, my name is Brother Reuben. So he goes, Brother Reuben? Like that. Like looking, so I thought, maybe I'm being a bit colloquial. I said, my name's Reuben, He goes, Reuben? He goes, hang on a minute. I was in my seance a few nights ago, and it's like a kind of circle or something like that where they do their thing. And they told me I'm going to meet a man called Reuben today. Reuben, not today, Reuben, soon. And he's got something important to tell me. So before he was like the healer and all that, and it's quite hard to connect. It's when you got to start people on the street. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They know everything, so it's hard to give them a book because they already know everything. Mm-hmm. So from before being like the healer and everything, he turned around, he puts hands like this, looked at his hand, goes, "What is it? What's the message you meant to give me?" so I was thinking, wow, how amazing Krishna is. I was thinking. I said, this man, in front of that chant we have, he's got, it's got the Maha Mantra and George Harrison's forward. So the message was that you should chant this mantra. It's amazing. I said it'll clean all your chakras, I was trying to relate to his world. I didn't want to say too much about Krishna because he's pagan. So I said, and more. So I got him to chant the Maha Mantra with me. So he chanted the Maha Mantra. And this phone was going on this thing. He said, I'm on a timer. So he said, so we chanted, exchanged numbers. I said, you should come and visit our temple sometime. And then he went. He had gone, the phone gone, there's someone else in the service station that had the car that was broken that was waiting for him because we were chatting. So he went on his way. So as I left the truck, I was thinking, here I am worrying about how I'm going to pay this bill off because I've just about got enough to get to India and everything. And in the space of 2 days, I've met the Isho man who's got a bookmark for him, Ray Steele, who I haven't met since I left university. And I'm meeting in the middle of a car park in the middle of, near Watford, not near Southampton or anything. And now I'm meeting a man that knows is going to meet a man called Reuben. I don't even know that I'm going to meet him, I was thinking, how kind Krishna is. He makes all these arrangements to help people. Mm-hmm. So I gave him the Isho and the Chant Be Happy and said, you take them. I think they were meant for you today. I'm sure Krishna will make some arrangements for everything to be covered. I left him. I was thinking, yeah, I'm telling him, I'm sure Krishna will make arrangements and everything will be covered. Why am I worrying? So it was like Krishna was giving me the faith. Don't worry, just carry on doing your service and everything will be taken care of, That time it was so full on, I hadn't gone back for Christmas because I'd worked through the Boxing Day and all that those days. So I went back to my parents in January after this second week in January. Dad gave me some money and it was all sorted, like good old dad and mum, but some of that, everything was taken care of, So then the story goes through. So you think that would be enough as a story, you could see how Krishna's behind everything. He's taking care of everyone. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, wow, isn't this amazing? Then I haven't tell one sannyasi that's given me shiksha and guidance this story. So as I told him, I said, maybe he saw your ID card, And I knew he hadn't seen my ID card. I never thought anything. I said, no, it just happened like that. So now this marathon's over. 1 year later, me and Sridham we're down Exeter, and we used to go to Truro for the last few days of the marathon, right down south, So it's now the 23rd of December, 2 days before Christmas now. Probably that's the biggest day of the year for marathon wise, isn't it? In terms of business on the streets and everyone shopping and festive mood. So I was just reading books with me and Sridham on the street. And Truro is a very super sweet town anyway, like everyone reciprocates with you,
I've had some of my biggest days in Truro.
Yeah. That's what me and Sridham was like, it's like the Christmas sweetness at the end of the marathon. Everyone's just taking books and giving donations. They just ask and it's just carrying on, sweet in itself, But super busy on that day. Suddenly, I'll stop this lady, and she's with like another lady. So I start talking to her, and she goes, "I'm clairvoyant." And we're having a little bit difficult because the clairvoyant's making a kind of not so clairvoyant to what I'm trying to explain to her, So I thought I'll just tell her this story. I had a flashback. I'll tell her this story about this man, So I started telling the story. As we were telling the stories, as I got to it, I was going to tell him there's a man called Reuben. She goes, hang on a minute. I'm going to meet a man called Reuben today. He's got something important to tell me.
That's so crazy,
This is absolutely crazy. My hair's...
I don't think... Reuben's not even a common name.
No, exactly.
I don't even like...
I'll tell you something more fun after this story finishes up. So then I thought my hair was standing around. I thought, this is a bit too much for me, So I kind of showed some idea I had on me. I'm Reuben, She goes, immediately she changed as well. She was like, what's the message that you've got, for me? And so that time I had some beads in my box and whatever. So I just put Chant Me Happy in the hand at the time. And I said, well, actually, we were talking about meditation and yoga. There's this mantra that if you chant, it will heal you, because she's a Reiki healer. So it will heal your heart, and it will help you develop your spirituality even more than you already are, because it's already very spiritual, So she was listening, and so she chanted it with me, And then I said, I've got these beads. You can take these beads, and it shows you on this page how to chant with beads. You take these beads as well. And you could see she had a little kind of her student in line type thing who was with her. So I gave a little book as well, and wanted to feel missed out. And she gave me a donation. Then I said to her, because kind of before she was like, I wanted to leave in a nice kind of state. Now I'd become the teacher and whatever. I said, is there any message you've got for me? Considering you do all this stuff. So she goes, hang on, I'll just tune in, because it's a super busy street. She says, there's a lot going on here. So she's just tuning in. Oh, and then I told you, this was the thing. That's why I said that she's pregnant and she was smoking a biddy. Yeah, but roll up, not biddy. Sorry, it's roll up in English. So I said to excuse me, I'm a priest or monk, so you're gonna have this baby, and it'd be good that if you stop smoking, it would, because usually the babies get asthma and stuff like that. So I was thinking, maybe it's not my position to say, but I just wanted to mention this, and I told her that this chanting can change all sorts of bad habits. I was telling her I was Captain Kebab, and changed me. So there's hope for anyone. So I'd mentioned that to her. So the exchange happened. She'd taken the books and some beads and whatever. So I said, is there anything you could tell me? Because, you're Reiki healer and all that, and you're clairvoyant. Because I'll just tune in. So then this is what she said. She was saying, oh, what I'm getting is that you're a person that you put out a lot, you're ready to give out a lot, but you need to take care of yourself because as that time I was getting pains towards the end of the marathon, I'd get pains in the center of my chest as energy levels were going down, and I always get weak chest and so on. So I was thinking, it's so strange. Before I was in India, and I'd gone to see someone about my health and stuff, and the person said, you need to look after yourself more. I was thinking, wow, this lady's telling me the same thing. So I was thinking of Krishna's. So it's amazing how things are arranged when you're distributing books. You get messages coming to you in different ways. And I was thinking, wow, this is what I'm being told. Start to look after yourself, and keep a balance between, doing your service and maintaining yourself in a proper balance. So I took it as, Krishna's kindness that day as well. But more than anything, the story that behind everything is Krishna's sanction, and he's taking care of all these different people. So what to say of if someone takes the trouble to go out and try and distribute his Srila Prabhupada's books, how pleased will Krishna be for those persons? That's the reason I wanted to tell those two stories. It gave me personal faith, especially when it happened it never happened to me again, but it gave me that faith that if I don't know when a man called Reuben's approaching someone, but these people know that, who knows what's going on behind these exchanges that go on between and devotees on the street, Just a funny little thing at the end. I was out on Saturday. I stopped these three persons, and I was thinking when I left our little thing that we discussed the other couple of days back, maybe I should tell the stories, So then I listened to this. Right, this is really strange now. I was out I stopped these three persons, right. So then when I started talking, and then that one of them was a mystic. The lady was mystic. Two colored gentlemen and a lady, and the lady was she was a bit clairvoyant and whatever. So I was just talking to them because that thing was on mine. I said, when I introduced him, I said, my name's Reuben. So the man said, my name's Reuben as well. I was thinking, maybe Krishna wants me to tell that story, because I was feeling a bit shy. And I said, is yours spelled R-E-U-B-E-N? Because they're sorry, he goes, yeah, mine's like that as well. I said, I was born Roman Catholic. How about you? He goes, I was born Roman Catholic as well. So it was completely. There was not. He wasn't told there's a man called Reuben, but just for weirdness' sake, we may as well add that in. As a. So those are the few things I wanted to share. Little stories.
Yeah, it's really nice, Guru. I think I think devotees will really appreciate just hearing these Sankirtan stories. It's got that move, just get around the fire and just hear these.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you can imagine, if all the devotees that we from the past as well told what they are like Adoksaja and Prabhupada Charan, what they must have experienced over the years in terms of all the that they've gone through, As I was mentioned to after that it'd be nice that we make time to, at the end of marathons, to actually put some quality time aside to allow people to express the experiences they went through and what realization they got from it. I think that would be very, very nourishing and inspiring for the devotees to actually express those things and consolidate their faith, and also it encourages others to see that there's something sublime that's going on when someone. It's not just when you distribute books. Whenever you take a step forward out of your comfort zone to distribute Krishna consciousness, in practically something internal happens. Something on a subtle platform is going on. That just like when you're on the street, like 1 minute you're struggling, and then suddenly the lights go on and everything's working. You're moving very sweetly around this. Everything's works again. And you don't even know it's happened. It's like suddenly, it's all okay again. Before you're praying, please help me. I can't seem to connect with anyone. Can't stop anyone. And then suddenly everything's just working. That's something sublime is there in Sankirtan. You've had that experience, I'm sure, many a time. That things switch over.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is yeah. It's something special. That's one thing. We had a podcast with Kesh Ramaj recently, and he was saying that's one of the things that you learn on Sankirtan is commitment. You know, how to commit, and eventually, and connection with Krishna. Like the story you're saying is about, you know, Krishna, how Krishna's alive on Sankirtan, and it's so reciprocal.
Yes,
You know, and how to have you perform the yagya, and sometimes you know you have to perform the sacrifice, and Krishna always reciprocates with you. But sometimes when you, yeah,
100%. It's magic, no? And that, I mean, that's why important that devotees actually talk about those things, so that people see something tangible. It's not like one devotee's experience; it's a common experience of Sankirtan devotees.
Yeah. It makes it scientific, right?
Yes,
like that is having everyone's doing the same thing, or everyone's getting the same result. It means okay.
And what's so sweet about it? Everyone's getting the same result in a very personal way, according to them. That's the bit that's so, you know, Krishna's a person and we're individuals, and you start to see that you can have a relationship with them. It's like Gauritai come to life, you know. You come back to the temple, everything's sweet when you come back, you know. The prashad, even a simple prashad tastes very sweet after you've been on Sankirtan. No?
High deities, and they always look they look generally pleased with you and happy.
Anyway, I think that those are some of the. I mean, there's many more things we can discuss, but it's that maybe another time like that. But
okay, well, we'll definitely do another one.
Main thing is that, you know, take away that is Krishna's really he's our best friend. You know, it's like when you're taking that little trouble to try to do a little bit of service, he reciprocates, and each devotee Sankirtan devotee has that feeling. You know, this is like, for me, the safest place in this world is when I'm standing on the street district books, event or wherever. But I find that all my worries disappear. Everything seems it's going to be fine, you know. It's connected to a different world, you know. It's a nice, very sweet world. That's, you know, that you can't really describe in words. It's as George Harrison says, the proof of the pudding's in the tasting. No, I always say that when I read a little bit from the front of that book. I say, so why not have a taste and find out if it's sweet or not? You know. So that's my humble request to devotees as a word of encouragement. You know.
Thank you very much, Reuben.
And thank you for all your wonderful service as well. You've got a whole like monster squad of devotees out there in Wales now. It's amazing. It's like I was thinking, you know, like Scotland used to be like that in the old days. And everything goes through its phases. And now it seems that Wales has that crew of young devotees that are sacrificing in that way and stretching themselves. You know, it's like a pleasure to whenever we meet you all. It's like pleasure to see that. You know.
Yeah, and the feeling's mutual. Like I said, very cared for. We're fortunate to do Sankirtan. Alpha and Sridham and Pimana.
Nice. It reminds me, so, you know, like I used to listen to, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about these things, but anyway, you can cut it out if there's no need for it. I used to listen to a lot of soul music when I was a kid, you know, especially when I was feeling or whatever. And there's this artist called George Benson. He used to sing a song, I believe the children are our future. Probably in your generation, Whitney Houston did it, but it was actually George Benson. I believe children are our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. So as time goes on, people, the senior devotees gave us a chance to understand how to distribute books and encouraged us. And that's brought so much happiness in our hearts. And then now, as time is going on and we've been distributing, to see another generation doing the same, it's you can see the happiness. There's nothing like the happiness comes from taking up some austerity to distribute Prabhupada's message to others, and the Aparampra's message, Lord Chaitanya's message. No, isn't it? Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. So when you see all the Sankirtan devotees out there happily distributing, it's like it brings pleasure to my heart, at least to see that. It's like that. So, and for me, when I started chanting, I remembered because it was, again, if you want, Jayadev Prabhu, he introduced myself, and Sachimata, I introduced myself, my wife, to Krishna consciousness. When I started chanting the mantra, all these songs start coming back to my consciousness, but with a Krishna meaning to them, which is very sweet, because they meant a lot to me when I was a kid, and they probably had a spiritual message that I couldn't quite understand, but it was connecting with me, like the song of Timothy Winters, But the same moment, I just remember, wow. In the song, it said, "Everybody's searching for a hero." And I thought, I found Srila Prabhupada. This is my real hero. Finally, I found him. And even in the last refrain of the song, it says, "And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, hide your strength in love." So when I was young and I was sad, I'd rewind the last bit and play it to myself. And then when I started chanting, I remembered it again. I thought, oh, that special place is Goloka Vrindavan. And I have to hide my strength in love, and I can find that place. I mean, we can cut the last bit. It's just my feelings in my heart. I'm just telling you.
I'll tell everything with Christian service. I think that's it. See everything through the lens of Christian consciousness.
It's thinking in a different way, that was I remember I started chanting like that. So then again, like when you see the Sankirtan devotees, these are the happy people, and the younger generation that go out and preach. I believe the children are our future, the younger generation, for definite. We've got the Sacred Street Party as well, going out as well, doing wonderful service in London. And I was recently in Crawley. There was I was invited with some devotees to a program there. These young boys all start. You could do so much nonsense at that age, But they're going out on Saturday with a little book table, and they're giving out books. And one of them was managing and organising it. I was just thinking, this is like medicine for the heart to see these young boys doing all this, So that's being, by the mercy of Prabhupada and his followers, they're getting a chance not to be cheated, Yeah. So, I better stop. You're inspiring me. Yes.
Well, thank you again, and thanks for also. We've done these podcasts a little bit throughout the year, and we called it the Sankirtan Hour podcast, just because I like the ring of it. But you've actually we've fulfilled the name now, so we've gone about an hour.
Oh my gosh! And this was meant to be a 10-minute one that I was meant to do.
This is good. This is a good Sankirtan Hour podcast episode. Give the people what they want, and it's a real nice Sankirtan story.
Anyway, forgive if I took too much time as well. Take care, Gopal. We'll see you soon, probably.
Yeah. Lots of love.
All goes to Prabhupada.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti